A few months ago, I broke up with my boyfriend, Ethan. Our relationship had become toxic, and I felt relieved to be finally free of him. However, little did I know that my nightmare was far from over. In the days following the breakup, I began receiving strange gifts at my doorstep. Mysterious bouquets of dead black roses with chilling notes attached started showing up, each one more unsettling than the last. The notes spoke of eternal love and vowed never to let me go. Feeling uneasy, I installed security cameras around my home. One night, while reviewing the footage, I noticed a figure lurking in the shadows outside my window. The person wore a hooded jacket, making it impossible to identify them. My heart raced as I realized someone was watching my every move. Determined to confront my stalker, I reached out to the police, but they couldn't do much without concrete evidence. As the days went by, the situation escalated. The mysterious stalker began sending disturbing messages to my social media accounts, knowing details of my daily routines that I never shared online. One evening, I returned home to find my front door slightly ajar. Terrified, I cautiously entered the house, only to discover that someone had been inside. My belongings were scattered, and Ethan's picture from our past was placed prominently on the dining table. Certain that Ethan was behind the stalking, I confronted him, and he denied any involvement. I couldn't be sure, but I couldn't shake that feeling that he was lying to me. Fearing for my safety, I moved to my sister's apartment, and I changed my phone number. However, the stalking persisted. My new address and contact details had been compromised, and the eerie gifts and messages continued. As the situation grew more sinister, I sought help from a private investigator. Together, we managed to trace the source of the messages to a burner phone registered under a false name. The investigator suspected it might be a hired accomplice, leaving me even more puzzled about the identity of my tormentor. As the months passed, the stalking became increasingly intense, driving me to the brink of paranoia. I stopped going out, isolated myself from everyone, and lived in constant fear of the unknown figure lurking in the shadows. In the end, the stalker was never caught, leaving me to wonder if I would be ever truly free from the clutches of my creepy ex. Me and my girlfriend, Lisa, had a seemingly perfect relationship. However, as time went on, Lisa's behavior started to change. She became possessive, jealous, and controlling, making me feel suffocated and trapped in the relationship. One day, I decided that I had enough and mustered the courage to break up with Lisa. At first, she seemed devastated, crying and begging me to reconsider. But as the days passed, her emotions took a dark turn. Lisa began bombarding me with hundreds of messages and calls every day, pleading for me to come back. When I didn't respond, she turned to threatening me with self-harm, claiming she couldn't live without me. Terrified for her well-being, I tried to reach out to her friends and family, but they seemed indifferent, dismissing her behavior as dramatics. As the weeks went by, Lisa's messages and calls escalated into a relentless barrage of anger and hatred. She accused me of cheating on her and spread vicious rumors about me to our mutual friends and colleagues. My life became a living nightmare filled with anxiety and fear. But the worst was yet to come. One night, I woke up to find Lisa standing at the foot of my bed, staring at me with an unsettling smile. My heart pounded in my chest as I asked her how she got into my apartment, and she simply replied, "I'll always find a way to be close to you, Stephen." Terrified, I called the cops, but when they arrived, Lisa was gone. They couldn't do much without solid evidence, and Lisa knew how to cover her tracks. I started sleeping with all the doors and windows locked, constantly looking over my shoulder, never feeling safe in my own home. Despite my efforts to avoid her, Lisa seemed to know my every move. She would show up unexpectedly at places I frequented, even though I changed my routines to avoid her. Her obsession with me had reached an alarming level, and I lived in constant fear with what she might do next. The situation only worsened when I started dating someone new. Lisa's jealousy and rage spiraled out of control. She began sending threatening messages to my new partner, trying to scare her away. This prompted me to take legal action and get a restraining order against Lisa, but it did little to deter her. The nightmare continued for months until one day, Lisa was finally caught trying to break into my apartment. The police arrested her, and she was charged with trespassing and harassment. But even with her behind bars, I couldn't shake off the trauma of the terrifying experience I endured at the hands of my possessive ex-girlfriend. It was shocking that what seemed to be a perfect relationship can turn into a nightmare when one person becomes dangerously obsessed.